A spicy new mock draft just came across the wire, and it has the Denver Broncos landing the quarterback of the future. That and so much more in this video. If you're new to this channel, I'm just a guy in my basement who can't stand Patrick Mahomes and just absolutely adores the Broncos, and I will be riding with you all the way through the Denver Broncos making the playoffs next year. I'm Ben. Let's giddy up and look at the news of the day. We're going to start with this. The rumored mock draft that I'm going to show you that has some big news comes to us from PFF. And a lot of times you'll hear people kind of hate on Pro Football Focus as I think it actually started overseas, and a bunch of people who maybe don't understand football, and you hear, you know, these big alpha guys who've got big wads of chew being like, well, they're not football guys like us. They don't really know what they're talking about. And I remember seeing on the Pat McAfee show, they broke down that like PFF actually knows what they're talking about, and a lot of players actually use the grades and all the stuff in PFF when they go in for contract negotiations. And you see this tweet here, and you see that players use the information from PFF when they're negotiating their contracts, and all 32 teams use PFF as part of their football ops. So it is not just some crazy rumor or just like me down here doing a mock draft with no intel. They have direct access to some of the key players, and so I think that gives this a little more credo. So let's look into what the PFF mock draft has, and you see right here it has the Denver Broncos trading up to the second overall pick with the Washington Commanders and selecting Drake Maye. Drake Maye with the second overall draft pick. So very curious, how would you feel next year seeing Drake Maye in orange and blue? So forget about all of the contract negotiation with Russell Wilson for a second. Let's just think solely upon how you would feel about him lining up behind Lloyd Cushenberry or whoever happens to be playing center. Does that make you excited? Now let's look at what is the cost. So according to their breakdown, they do a really good job of breaking down the point system that we've talked about in this. How much is the second overall draft pick worth, and how much is the 12th overall draft pick worth? And what they have is the Denver Broncos would need to send this year's first round pick, so that we're off the board now at 12, next year's first round pick, next year's second round pick, and the following year's first round pick. So it would take truly, it would take 3 first-round picks to get Drake Maye as a Denver Bronco. How does that land with you? I think, you know, right now, if Drake Maye is Patrick Mahomes, I'm good giving up 3 first-round draft picks if it's Patrick Mahomes. But is this guy just another Mitchell Trubisky? The pro comp for him is that he's got an arm like Justin Herbert, or he's like a more accurate Josh Allen. We remember Josh Allen out of college wasn't that accurate, and would we be willing to give up 3 first-round draft picks for Josh Allen? So very curious to hear what you all think first about the idea of trading up. And then secondly, what do you think about the idea of if we do trade up into that 2 spot, are you good getting a future Josh Allen or Justin Herbert perhaps? Interestingly to me, I think the quarterback that like has caught my eye other than Caleb Williams, if we're trading up, is actually Jayden Daniels. He just seems to just be able to run like crazy. He's got a cannon for an arm as well. He also had a ton of talent. He's going to have a first-round draft pick out of the wideout room there at LSU. So there's some saying that he's not quite as good as the others, but I'd be interested to hear in the comments, what do you think about if we're choosing between Drake Maye and Jayden Daniels, which would you prefer? So then the last thing that this all kind of hinges on is if we're giving up multiple first-round draft picks, if those are picks number 28, 29, 30, because we're competing late into the playoffs, then first-rounder doesn't really matter. What I would absolutely hate to see is I would hate to see this Denver Broncos team so decimated that we're giving up first-round draft picks and they are really early on in the NFL draft. You know, we have talked all channel long. I started this around Halloween time. All channel long, we've talked about, could we be next year's Detroit Lions? And one of the things that has propelled this Detroit Lions turnaround is they had all of those first-round draft picks from all those years they were bad, and they actually had those picks. You know, we had to give up multiple first-round draft picks for Russell Wilson. We had to give up first-round draft picks for Sean Payton. And so, if Drake Maye is good enough to do like a CJ Stroud and get us into the playoffs next year, do it in a heartbeat. If he's not good enough, and if he's a Bryce Young, or if he is a Jamarcus Russell, or he's at Paxton Lynch, or any of these other first-round quarterbacks that happens more often than not in the first round, it's not a very prudent move for the Denver Broncos. So let's get into the last news of the day, and that comes to us from Chad Ochocinco, the former Bengal Patriot, and I think he was with the Steelers wideout, who said that he heard from a little birdie that Russell Wilson is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The way he said it, I've watched the interview multiple times. Like, he easily could have just said, well, I'm hearing, which is like a little less affirmative or like definitive than a little birdie told me. Like, that truly is him saying, like, I got a source. Or he could have just said, hey, I think he's going to go. Either way, you're still saying, like, I'm right, but there's something about saying, like, a birdie told me that makes it seem like you have inside information. And so that birdie that told him that Russell Wilson is going to the Steelers, I think the best thing and the thing that we all need to be hoping for as we're watching these Russell Wilson rumors come through is, how does he leave our team if he leads? So I'm on a website here called overthecap.com, and if you click on calculator, it lets us see dead cap figures depending on if we trade him before June 1st, if we cut him before June 1st, if we trade him after June 1st, all these different fallouts. If he renegotiates, how does all of that work? And we know, we've heard multiple times, we're a little bit $24 million over the cap. There are ways that we can get under that just by trading Jerry Jeudy and cutting, or having someone like Tim Patrick renegotiate his deal, or renegotiating Cortland Sutton's deal. Both of those moves in isolation could get us under. But the thing we need to hope for that happens with Russell Wilson is watch what these cap numbers do as I do different things. So trading him before June 1st ends up with puts us $56 million over the cap. So we do not want to trade him before June 1st. We do not want to cut him before June 1st. If we do that, we take all of that dead cap money hit in 1 year. So that's the $85 million in dead cap that we've talked about multiple times. So the ideal thing would be somehow trading Russell Wilson. My hunch would be that we'd have to add a pick. Do we have to throw in the 3rd round draft pick to do this? But if we trade him after June 1st, watch this. All that happens is it's $18 million in dead cap hit, which that happens all the time in the NFL. We had dead cap hit getting rid of Randy Gregory and Frank Clark earlier. So that happens all the time. And just like that, we are only $7 million over the cap. So then if we were to do something like renegotiate with Tim Patrick, renegotiate with Ben Powers, or trade Jerry Jeudy, just like that, we now have cap room. Then could we renegotiate with if all of a sudden we cut DJ Jones, we're talking $15 million in cap room. We could make a move for Danielle Hunter. We could make a move for a Josh Allen, not the quarterback, but the guy from Jacksonville. So lots of exciting things to happen. This is a very tumultuous and crazy time in Broncos country, because really anything could happen. That's why I hope it does help me out as well. If you like and subscribe, you will not miss a single second of all the action. And until next time, y'all giddy up.